Wendy Garfinkel. I'm a social worker here at MPTF. My role is as an Elder Connection social worker, but I'm also in charge of the residential application process, getting people on the wait list to move in now or later on in life when they're ready. I grew up in a small town suburb in New Jersey, 20 miles from New York City. Great school system, good people. Livingston, New Jersey. I grew up in a jewelry manufacturing family. I grew up in a factory where there was gold on the floors. My dad manufactured wedding bands, and it was my grandfather's business. And it was just a really fun childhood to go see how rings were made from a blank to melting in the oven and all that. My mom was a school teacher until I was in first grade, and then became a full-time mom. I have a younger brother who's 2 years younger, and he's a chiropractor. My parents moved out to Arizona from New Jersey 6 years ago, and 2 weeks ago moved to Florida. So they're a little further now, and don't have much family here. And that's my grow-up family. Right. But in my own family, my immediate family here, I'm married. I have 2 children who are 14 going on 15 this month, and a daughter, Izzy, who is going to be 18 next month, who has been a Channel 22 volunteer, among other things here, as well as my son, who helped during the evacuation last year. We helped build a dog park, so we all try to stay pretty active here. My husband, he, at heart, is a screenwriter. Spent some time working at Fine Line Features some years ago when we met. Wrote some screenplays, didn't sell too much, and he somehow ended up going into the nonprofit world like me. Worked for the March of Dimes for 10 years, the Arthritis Foundation for several years as its executive director, and now he's with the ALS Association, the Golden West chapter, and he runs all the charity walks and bike rides, and he's been there for about 4 years now. So undergraduate, I went to University of Colorado in Boulder, studied psychology and interpersonal communication. Boulder's my favorite place on earth, so if I could be anywhere else, it would be there, but I prefer to be here for now. I went to graduate school right after I graduated from Boulder, studied at Columbia University, got my master's degree in social work, moved out to California right after for a guy, didn't marry him, and met my husband through him. And as soon as we got married, I said, I want to go back to school again and get my MBA in nonprofit management. And that led me into a career of working with entertainment people who were struggling. I happened to work with professional singers for about 24 years at a charity called Society of Singers as its primary social worker and development director. Well, the organization started, it was a $3 million organization with a staff of 3. We grew to about 8 people and then slowly downsized again to 2. So it was me and another colleague working from home, doing whatever we could to still dole out money to singers who needed financial aid and support. Still ran our events. And slowly over the years, the organization kind of dwindled down, and sadly we closed it about 5 years ago in my house. I started working here in 2011, which overlapped with my work there. Both were part-time until this one here went full-time back in 2013. What's fun is working here, I tend to be in touch with some of those same people because they're motion picture and TV people. They're SAG and AFTRA members. So someone will call me and I'm like, hey, it's Wendy, remember me? I used to work at Society of Singers. So I'm still kind of tied into some of them. Being at Society of Singers for so many years, I worked among all the entertainment charities. We all shared cases together, we collaborated to offer financial aid and all kinds of supportive services. So Motion Picture was a sister organization we worked with, as well as the Actors Fund, the union charities, Music Cares, the California Jazz Foundation, who I also worked for as well. And there's one person who I'm very grateful for in my life now, and that would be Naomi Rada, who called me one day and said, "Wendy, I think we might have a job you might be interested in." And she said, 2 days a week, part-time, getting people on our residential wait list. I'm like, sign me up, tell me what I need to do. So Society of Singers was part-time then, this was part-time. I was also working for the California Jazz Foundation, doing similar work with financial aid, and my dream came true. I ended up here, still here. It's been just over 8 years. And I was hired to do, again, the applications. After 2 years, I was brought on 3 more days a week working in our community volunteer program. So I played matchmaker. I matched clients in the community with friendly visitors, grocery shoppers, and computer tutors. And it was really fun, actually. I still have matches going on today since 2013. And a couple of years ago, they made some changes in our programs and brought me back to the residential application job, but on a full-time basis. And secretly, it's kind of always what I wanted to do, but I still miss the volunteer days and just light up when I see people here on campus who've moved here from the community who are still matched with those volunteers that I made from years ago. Well, my role, again, is to get people on our residential wait list, whether they want to move here sometime soon or in the future. I hold their hands through the process because the paperwork can be pretty daunting, and just thinking about retirement when someone turns 70 can be a little overwhelming. And for those who are older who really want to move now, moving here is a big change, a big transition in life, and I'm just here to support them as they go through that process and help them in areas of downsizing, what that looks like, giving up a home of maybe over 50 years, and just really be with them along the way until their move-in day. Other things I do around campus, I work as part of an interdisciplinary team. I'm actually a liaison between our social services staff and our residential staff here. I'm an advocate for the clients before they want to come in, and I volunteer where I'm needed, provide support to interns and other staff, and work as part of a terrific team. Everything. Just today, I saw several clients on campus who've met and fallen in love, and just looking at them, the way they hold their hands, the way they look at each other, just brings me so much joy. Because when I met them some years earlier, they were in a totally different place. They've moved here and their life has completely changed. People come here and they thrive. They come here to live. And often when I meet people who are when they're in the community, they're a little bit sad and depressed, those who are especially alone, and they move here and their life just transforms. It's really special. So that's something that really moves me. When I work with them, when they're in the community, they're my clients, but once they move here, they get another social worker, so I get to be friends with them at that point. And I'm just delighted when I see them smiling here on campus, wherever they are. My clients, my peers. I think not a month goes by that we look at each other and say, pinch me, I can't believe I work here and I love my job. The fact that people have worked here for over 40 years inspires me. I tell people who I see, even a couple I saw today, I said they're staff who've been here for over 40 years, and it says something. When I hear from residents say how touched they are by even dining room staff, everybody's so happy here. It's like Disney for adults. I've had clients who move in and as a resident they'll call this place Shangri-La, or it's like living on a cruise. And just that they've started their lives again is really impactful and meaningful for me. Probably at the foundation level, development, finding ways to make people know that Motion Picture and Television Fund exists. More people need to know about us. We need to carry on this organization through many years to come. I think the next gen group is super important. I see our pictures all over the walls here. I'd love to see younger ones hanging up too, because the legacy just needs to go on. It's a powerful position to be in. Asking people for money, it's hard, but I don't mind doing it. So I admire everybody over there. I think it's a great position to be in. Making jewelry. I've made my bracelet. Just chilling with family, being with my dogs. I have 2 golden retrievers. In fact, one is a volunteer here. He comes Fridays sometimes for the Love on a Leash program. Max, he's the red golden retriever. I used to like skiing, but I haven't done that in many years. And I was actually a really good expert skier, which no one would know about me. I bike ride. I've ridden for 5 years in the ALS ride to defeat ALS up in Napa Valley. So I ride about 30 miles in that every year to support a dear friend of ours who died at 40 from familial ALS, and also to support people who've lived here on campus who've had ALS, and just I'm touched by them and the struggles they go through, but seeing the quality of life that especially one resident here had in his last days, it was truly amazing. His first name was John. He edited for Channel 22. He's written a book. He wrote a screenplay. Many people have donated to ALS research on his behalf. We've had a team walking for him. He will be truly missed. And so I ride for him and my friend and all the others out there who have ALS. Well, I have been known to be seen around campus hanging out in the flower fields. I take pictures of flowers everywhere on campus. On Facebook, if they follow me, I post flowers every Friday. I call it Friday Flowers, and I would say a good portion of those flowers are from here. At one point, I printed them all up, hundreds of pictures, and they were made into the birthday cards for the residents here on campus, so that was kind of fun. And when my clients move in, I send them all a card with the first picture of a beautiful gazania flower that was the first one I ever took and started the whole thing. So they each get a card from me welcoming them home. And the card's printed, it says hi with an exclamation point. And that, I hope it brightens their day from the first day they move in. Dial extension 1012, or come and find me in the medical pavilion in the social services office. It's funny, they get here and they're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm on the north end of campus, come and see me. Or we can do coffee. So 1012, that's how you can find me.